When I was very young, I had really got into the classic Disney animations. I even tried and had an attempt to draw those types of characters such as Donald Duck. As far as I can remember, I'd just pick up a crayon and pencil and just doodle, even if it looked like crap. This would probably have been a starting point, though I sort of lost that habit of drawing daily, especially when I started school, but it eventually came back when I started to get into movies and TV shows, but even back then it was just casual. The only art education was an art class at high school, and through this I was introduced to Photoshop. I struggled a lot with traditional painting, so my art teacher suggested that I have a go at this program, and I did, and I really loved it. One of the first pieces I did in Photoshop was of a warrior. I sketched out a page, scanned it, and I used digital brushes with a mouse. It took a while to do, though. One of my friends told me about this graphics tablet and how it kind of mimics the process of drawing, and from here on I just continuously used it. From this point it was basically a formed habit of drawing. I'd only go as far as sketching, and then I'd do the rest in Photoshop, like as colouring as such. Especially with the fact you can undo, it's a godlike tool. So from around this area I started teaching myself this program, though I did have a little help from my art teacher about the basics of composition as such when I started to get really serious about it. So I'm not fully self-taught, but a majority of it is. I would say that video games have made a sort of turning point in my art. I know that sounds silly because it's just an excuse to play games, but when I started to get into it, I began to focus more on the art direction and story structure behind the controls. I became particularly fascinated by concept art and how it forms a media that can create characters, settings and moods. It really became my favourite medium in forming ideas visually. A particular example is Assassin's Creed, which a lot of people know. I love the series. What I really love about it is how they've incorporated real settings and elements and mixed it in with fictional ones. I mean, even in the design side of things, like you have their main protagonist Ezio and you put him in the Renaissance period, so the design there is going to be quite fashionable and innovative, especially during that period of time. And when you compare it to another hero they have called Connor, he's another fictional character placed within the American Revolution, so the design there is going to be quite different. It's going to be influenced by around 18th century militia and their uniforms and weaponry. And some of the settings are just beautiful. I mean, the way they've created characters and elements influenced by cultures and places, it just adds a realistic quality and feature to them, and yeah, I thought that was quite inspiring. It definitely got me in the habit of referencing things, real things. Say I wanted to draw a person in armour, I'd go through the materials and ask myself, would it be made of leather, metal, would there be belts and buckles, that kind of thing. And then I'd just get out books and search online about these types of things. To how this became a turning point would definitely go into the category of fan art. I've actually done a few fan arts of Assassin's Creed. I also remember this MMO I played a while back. I created a character and I felt an attachment towards it, so I started drawing it. And then I drew other characters within that same setting, and it just grew from there. A creation I'm most pleased with would definitely be a character I created for a 3D animation assignment. It really expanded my vision and thoughts to how to approach this idea. I never really took a character into that much depth before. I mean, I gave her a personality, a backstory, a motive towards what she is and why. Once I'm into it, it gets pretty exciting. It's really satisfying seeing something in your head being brought to life, and I mean, it may not always be as you pictured it, but it comes quite close. If if you're stuck on a certain thing, it definitely helps to find a way around it, looking through other people's work. DeviantArt, which is a community where artists from all over the world contribute their artwork. It's a really ideal site to join, especially if you want to build up your creative side. It ranges from all different kinds of mediums, so it doesn't necessarily have to be drawing. It could be literature as such, and they're really supportive towards your work when you post it up. This site has definitely influenced my developing process of my work. It's a really great site to connect with other artists, especially freelancers and people who are already in the industry. I wouldn't say I've mastered this type of drawing. It's still developing, I'm still learning, but what I found really interesting was in a video from Fengzu about visual libraries. He basically talks about building a library of visual elements inside your head and how they can influence your work and help build upon your techniques as such and skills, particularly when you're brainstorming and coming up with ideas within concept art. What I've taken in so far, I would recommend drawing as much as you can. If you have a library near you, just go there, get up books on how to draw, reference images, use them as studies for light and composition, explore how things work, such as technology, vehicles, animals, buildings. I mean, I've drawn heaps of things I've hated. I've never wanted to look at it again. I never wanted to show anyone. But once you've got something to work off, you've established pieces of work. You know you can do better on it. It's only going to develop from there. I like the idea of practice makes perfect, and yeah, I can't wait to do more.